Welcome back, everybody, to another I'm Glad I'm Not in Her Shoes episode of Lockdown 23 and 1. That's right, we're jumping into a South Carolina courtroom once again to witness the sentencing of a young lady by the name of Jamie Lee Komoroski. She was drinking and driving and ended up killing someone. I'll get more into the details here in a second. And this one's kind of like a part 2 to the video I did the other day, where the woman got into a car accident, killed a passenger, seriously injured another, fled from the scene, but still only got about 30 months in jail. There was no alcohol involved. I promise you, if there was, she would have been getting something similar to what this young lady's getting today. Remember, drinking and driving, getting in an accident and killing someone is 100% different than you just driving and accidentally killing someone sober. And today you're going to witness how much worse that punishment can be when alcohol is involved. But first, as always, if you're new to the channel and enjoy all things lockup and crime related, then this is where you want to be. Hit that like, subscribe, notification bell before you leave, and check out my playlist with many more videos for you to start watching today. Alright, so like I said, I'm going to break down the situation really quick, then we'll jump into the courtroom and witness Miss Komoroski speak to the judge before getting sentenced. It says Jamie Lee Komoroski, 27, pleaded guilty to a charge of felony DUI, 2 counts of DUI causing great bodily injury or death, and 1 count of reckless homicide. The charges stem from a Foley Beach DUI crash that killed bride Samantha Miller on her wedding night in April 2023 and injured 3 others, including Miller's new husband. Very sad situation, man. My condolences go out to anybody affected by this one. Police say Komoroski was driving 65 miles per hour in a 25 mile per hour zone, and her blood alcohol level was 3 times over the legal limit. According to the affidavit, a responding officer observed a large crash involving a golf cart, later identified by police as an LSV. I guess maybe not a golf cart, probably like a little more off-roadish. I don't know exactly what an LSV is, but it was struck and its side was against a gray Toyota Camry. The officer also saw multiple victims laying throughout the crash site. When an officer located Miller, she was not breathing and had no pulse. The officer focused life-saving measures on her, but she was pronounced deceased on the scene. She was still wearing her white wedding dress. But now we're heading into the courtroom to witness Miss Komoroski speak about the situation before she gets sentenced.
Yes, ma'am, you may proceed.
Beautiful courtroom.
You're welcome.
My name is Jamie Lee Komoroski, and on the night of April 28, 2023, I chose to drink and drive, which resulted in the death of Samantha Miller and the serious injuries of Eric Hutchinson and injuries to family members Defendant and Brogan. This is the worst decision I have ever made in my life, and it has affected the lives of so many. First and foremost, I want to address all the victims of the accident I caused and say how truly and deeply sorry I am. Due to my poor decisions, a beautiful life was taken. A wife, sister, daughter, and friend of many is no longer with us. And for that, while I know an apology will fix nothing, all I can say is how incredibly remorseful I am. I also am truly sorry and remorseful for the physical and emotional pain I caused to the other family members. I wish I could go back and undo this terrible tragedy, but I cannot. I will live the rest of my life with immense regret for what happened that night. I also want to express my deep remorse and sincere apologies to all who were involved in this tragedy, including the first responders, police, friends, and families of the victims, and anyone who was hurt in any way due to my poor decisions that night. This will be something that impacts all of you for the rest of your lives.
I don't know about y'all, but look, if I'm trying to, be remorseful and tell the people, I'm not going to be reading nothing. That shit's gonna come from my heart, man, if I'm remorseful. I don't need no kind of script. I understand some people get a little nervous, they can't really act right in the courtroom under all that pressure, but I don't think they should be allowed to have that. I want to see authenticity in here. And it's hard for me to feel like that when they're reading it off a piece of paper. Like the last case, man, that girl reading that script, it sounded like a professional attorney wrote it. Ain't no way she wrote that, man, if I were to gamble it all. Either way, let's henceforth. I got a little deep on that one.
I take full responsibility for the tragic outcome that my decisions have made. I will carry this guilt with me for the rest of my life. And as much as I wish I could go back in time and have none of this happen, I know that cannot be done.
You already said that.
A lesson I have learned is that just because you have good intentions or would never want to hurt anyone, if you aren't being responsible for your actions, you can and you will hurt people. I know I am going to be punished for these actions, and I agree that it is something that must be done. I would like to make it clear that whatever my punishment is, I will use the time to better myself.
One thing that terrifies me more than anything going in and out the courtroom facing 25 to 50 years of my life at one point is when you're trying to speak from your heart, or at least I was, and the judge seems like they don't even care. Not looking at you at all. Just flipping through the paperwork. That makes you feel like, she's just looking for the proper amount of smoke to give. No apology needed. Everything's set in stone. That's how I feel. A judge that's kind of tipsy-topsy on how much time they're going to give you will be relying on what you say next to determine what they're going to do with the sentencing. So they'll look you in your eyes, see if you're authentic. But like I said, when they're just flipping through paperwork, you can finish apologizing, but you got to know the smoke is coming.
The dangers of drinking and driving. Continue to help others with addictions through AA. I work every day to improve myself to give maximum service to the community and my fellows. Some ways I plan on doing this include staying extremely involved in AA and the fellowship of helping people recover from their addictions. I am able to do this because I know what it is like to be an addict. I did not want to believe that I had addiction to alcohol before this tragedy, and so I told myself every day I was normal. The fact was, though, that I was helplessly addicted to alcohol, and that I was living every day with no meaning. This led to me not caring about how my actions would affect others. I never want to live my life that way again. And I hope to help people to never have to feel that way as well. After completing my sentence, however long Your Honor decides, I plan on going back to school to get a master's degree in animal-assisted therapy. This degree will allow me to follow out my dreams of being able to help people recover from PTSD, anxiety, depression, addiction, and more through the use of rescue animals.
That's definitely not a long neck Radio Shack, Mike, so the quality's not the best. But I'm pretty sure she said she wanted to be working with animals, like a veterinarian or something. That's the same thing that girl said in the last case we did. And look, this girl's dad is like a millionaire in Jersey. Business tycoon, I think. I can't remember exactly, but there's jailhouse video calls out there of them speaking about the situation well before the sentencing. And she was saying, Daddy, I don't want to do 15 years in prison. I can't do that long. Freaking out, all this, that, and the third. Well, like I said, wait till you see the turn of events on this one.
I want to share my story with as many people possible in order to try and prevent tragedies like this from happening to
Me too, that's why we're here today. We're all helping people become aware.
I want to emphasize the importance of warnings.
Drink and drive, kill someone, you're gonna get smoked, man.
We haven't heard the message since high school.
But this speech is definitely dry and void of any kind of emotion, if you're to ask me.
It is vital that the warnings of drinking and driving don't stop after the age of 18. I feel we all need to be reminded, no matter what our age is, so that the reality that this can happen if not careful stays fresh in people's minds. I had never been in trouble before, but one isolated decision of mine devastated so many lives.
Remember what she just said and what I say all the time. She says she's done nothing wrong in her life besides this one situation. That's all it takes is that one wrong ticket. With the destination to prison, man, you don't know what's going to be in your future. And like I say all the time, man, it doesn't matter how good you've done in the past. Repeat offenders and stuff like that, yeah, your background and history could play a role later on in life. But people with no kind of criminal background, man, depending on the crime, being a good guy your whole life means nothing in the court's eyes.
Unfortunately, it took this incredible tragedy and terrible incident to wake me up to the extent of my addiction. I hope to help people wake up.
Me too. I hope everyone wakes up.
Rehabilitate before it's too late. Because every single decision we make has consequences. And knowing you have taken a beautiful life from this world, it's something I will live with every moment of every day going forward. A life that should have lived on to fulfill all of her dreams and ambitions, who would have helped so many people in her life, all because of my own inconsiderate and thoughtless actions. I want the last thing that I say to be that from the very bottom of my heart, with every fiber in my being, how sorry I am, and that I take full responsibility for my actions.
This is so cut and dry, Your Honor. You gotta be seeing through the script. I don't even see not near crocodilian. Complete dry atmosphere in the opticals. Yeah, there's some squintage on the forehead, but she's trying to read a scripted letter. Hard to see that small ass font. Am I overreacting here, or is she authentic? Like I say all the time as well, I like to think that I'm a good judge of character. I think she's just scared for herself, trying to make sure she gets a low end of the stick. Alright, they got the casino water bottles everywhere in here. You know someone's about to get hit up like a slot machine. Jamie, go ahead and stand up. Citizen days upon you.
Presented to the court, and I have taken into consideration the mitigation that has been presented. And based on what has been presented to the court, I find the following appropriate in the nature of sentencing. On the offense of reckless driving, reckless homicide, which is 2023 GS 103895, you're sentenced to the State Department of Corrections for a period of 10 years and $5,000 provided upon the service of 10 years.
10 clip.
So, yeah. On both counts of felony, DUI, great bodily injury, you're sentenced to the State Department of Corrections for a period of 15 years and $5,100 provided upon the service of 15 years. And on the offense of felony DUI with death, you're sentenced to the State Department of Corrections for a period of 25 years and $10,100 provided upon the service of 25 years. These sentences are concurrent with one another. You'll get credit pursuant to 241340 if that becomes applicable. And I think it is appropriate, and I queried Mr. Finch for a particular reason. It was not random. Our state legislature and their infinite
smoke vision
amended 241340 to allow for time spent on monitored house arrest. And it was contemplated that a person get credit when they are basically in jail at home. And based on how Ms. Komoroski's home detention was structured, she was in jail, but for being at home. And I think it is appropriate that she receive credit for any time served on monitored house arrest or home detention. Those terms in my mind are interchangeable. From the period of 3/1/2024 through the present, and we'll calculate that and place it on her sentencing sheets. Again, these sentences are concurrent.
Bobby, turn it off, man. Damn, I can barely breathe. Jeez, man, I ain't never had digital smoke follow me from the courtroom before. That stuff's hard to get out your clothes. But either way, a little 15 clip, nah, 25. She didn't see that one coming. I did, though, by the way the judge was flipping through that paperwork. Like I said, the lack of eye contact is kind of like a judge's eye of the tiger. Complete reverse, if that makes sense. Treacherous, I know, but at least the judge gave her a little bit of time for when she was on house arrest. It don't matter, that's just a drop in a bucket to 25 years, right? She'll still be getting out when there's about 4 or 5 doors on a microwave. Hopefully you enjoyed the episode, and my condolences once again go out to the family members involved with this one. Very tragic, but we got another learning experience coming our way, man. Tomorrow, the island boy, or one of the island boys, got hemmed up. Man, not looking good for him, especially if he goes to the penitentiary. I'll break it down when we get there. A lot of y'all might not even know who I'm speaking about, but many do, unfortunately. So be on the lookout for that. And the only way to do that is by hitting that notification bell, send it to all. In the meantime, though, as always, y'all be easy, be safe, and more importantly than anything, don't drive drunk, wear your seatbelt, and stay free.